Okay, another method for solving quadratics is complete the square. And so we're going to look at a basic equation that if you wanted to, you could look at factoring it and you go, okay, well, but the factors of 4 will not make 6. So you know you can't factor it. And we know we can't square root both sides because of this 6x in here. You can't square root anything with a 6x in it. You can only square root when you have this x squared by itself. Okay, so we could do quadratic formula. That would actually work. But there's another way. And so we're going to talk about completing the square. Now, complete the square means that I want to set up this equation so that I have two factors, okay? Everything has to be the same, so I have two of them, meaning that I complete the square. Here we go. Let's look and see what this looks like. This is what I mean by two factors. Okay, so we know the 4 is not going to work for us. Let's go ahead and move the 4 on the other side. Now, to complete the square, I'm going to have to add some extra. If I add something on one side, I got to add it on the other side. All right. Now, what are two numbers that make 6? Now, we're not talking about factors. We're actually talking about two numbers that add up to 6. And the two numbers that add up to 6 but are the same number, okay, because you're not going to use 2 and 4. You got to use the same number. So it's got to be 3 and 3. All right. So the two numbers that add up to 6 that are the same number are 3 and 3. In this case, we're doing a positive 6. All right. So look at this. I have two factors, 3 and 3. If I add 3x and 3x, I get 6x. And if I multiply 3 times 3, I get 9. But the only way to make this equation work the way I want it to, in order to complete the square, I have to actually change the equation. So I'm adding a 9. But if I add a 9 on this side, I have to add a 9 on the other side. Well, 9 minus 4 gives me 5. So let's just write this out. I have x plus 3. Now it's squared. That's how I completed the square. I've got two of them, x plus 3, and they're both squared now. Okay? And now I have equals 5. I have technically completed the square at this time. And completing the square, when they ask you, they may say, what number will complete the square? And the number you want to give them is the 9 in this case. However, I've only completed the square. I haven't solved this yet. Now let's go solve. Okay, so I have x plus 3 squared equals 5. Now, remember I said that you couldn't square root when you had the problem before because there was an x by itself. But see, there's two x plus 3's in this. So now that I have two, or that they're squared, and this is all by itself, now I can square root both sides. Okay, so I have x plus 3 equals plus or minus, because when you square root both sides, you always put in the plus or minus, and the square root of 5. I'm going to go ahead and move the 3 over. So my answer is going to be negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 5. And that's it for complete the square. Once you've done it, all you have to do is square root both sides and solve. That's it for this video.